Ciao Juventini of the world, my name is Giuseppe, welcome back on the channel. Yesterday I asked you, can you choose who can start next to Dusan Vlahovic, Chiesa or Kenan Yildiz? Because yesterday I told you this will be the debate until the end of the season. Out of question that we go with a new change of formation at the moment, because Max said it, we have a balance and we need to respect that balance at the moment. Well, yesterday I asked you an unnecessary question. I believe one of the most unnecessary questions I ever asked. For what reason? Because a few minutes ago in press conference, Max Allegri said it. Tomorrow we will miss two big players. One of them is Federico Chiesa. I will speak about that. I will speak about other things in today's video. If you didn't yet, please support the channel with a maximum of like. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. If you didn't yet, you know it. For you, it costs zero. For me as a content creator, it's helping me so much. So going back to what I wanted to speak about Chiesa, about all the other things, this morning I started to record the first time the video without the press conference of Max Allegri, speaking about the bomba of Gazzetta, Kenan Yildiz 2029. But I was doing a lot of mistakes or I went interrupted, so I said, you know what, let's wait for the press conference because you never know, Max Allegri can say something significant. Luckily, I had the feeling that he would say something significant, and unfortunately he said. Why? Because he started his press conference with two players that will miss tomorrow. First one, Adrien Rabiot, that will not be there. For what reason? Because of a calf strain. Second player, Federico Chiesa. For what reason? I will read you. Federico has had a flare-up of his knee problem, and he will be evaluated in the next few days. So two players are not there. We start with the Frenchman. Problem? Absolutely is a problem. The last time that we didn't win a game, it was without Rabiot against Genoa, and Lecce is a tough field. It's a difficult one, especially because we know that in the last 4 games that we played away from home, we always conceded at least 1 goal. So it's a difficulty. It's something else that we have to pay attention for. If you're looking at the games against Lecce recently, well, we won 1-0, difficult in our home. We won 1-0 last year in their home, and we needed a goal alla Del Piero from Fagioli, so a miracle last year. So it's a tough game, and without Rabiot, it will be even more difficult. Luckily, we gained back Weston McKennie after his suspension. It will be crucial. Weston McKennie, Locatelli. The question mark is who will play next to Loca and West. Will it be Miretti? Another chance. We said it last time against Sassuolo, even if he's the one that took that free kick for Dusan, even if the one that is giving that assist for Dusan, it was not his best game. So another chance for Miretti or an alternative. Because today there was a question from a journalist to Max. Cambiaso, now definitely on the right side, where he said no, he can still play on the right side, can play on the left. But as you noticed, he already played a few games on the midfield, in the midfield as a mezzala. And this is something that I always tell you, from the moment that we have the opportunity, when the game is done, when we are winning a lot, Cambiaso is tested as a mezzala on the left, on the right. He can play in diverse roles. Well, tomorrow, I would not exclude a surprise from the first minute. Cambiaso as a mezzala there, or entering in a way, in a moment there, with Miretti starting and then a Cambiaso that is taking his spot. If we have alternatives there without Rabiot, and by the way, for Rabiot, it is not a trauma, it is not something serious, but when you have a calf strain, this is something that you can't risk. This is something that you have to be extra cautious because it can become really a problem. And we don't want to miss Adrien against the big game against Inter on the 4th of February. Well, Adrien, we have alternative. The problem is for Federico Chiesa. That will again not be there. He was right now back. Sassuolo, second half, he enters, he scores, he's showing that he really wants to. He was extremely happy, you know, celebrating with a supporter. Another stop for Chiesa. And it's a problem because we are the 20th of January. What is happening on the 20th of January? It's the birthday of my wife, so happy birthday to my wife. Joyeux anniversaire. Je t'aime. I love you. Now we put that aside. The 20th of January is also 10 days remaining in the winter mercato. And in the winter mercato, you know it, we were just waiting for the green light of Los Colchoneros, Atletico Madrid, to ask on loan Ken Moiskin. I already told you in the past few videos, a loan without renewing the contract, I'm not that much happy with. For what reason? Because we know it, with 4 strikers, if one is injured, if one goes again with lombalgia, pubalgia, one has a suspension, you have not a lot of options. And that's a danger. With 4 men, you have one that is missing, you have only one on the bench, which is happening in the last few games. So that's something that I really would say, don't loan out Keane. Then if you can cash in a lot with 20, 30, 40 million euro, financially I can even potentially understand it. If we are speaking about the human being, that he wants more space, he wants more opportunity to play, from a human perspective, I can also understand it. But if I have to be a bit selfish, no, well, on top with that news of Federico, that at the moment is not giving us guarantees on continuity in physical condition, well, I would say, Juve, think about it. Seriously, take your time to check all the possibilities, because missing a player like Keane, that it's true, he didn't score yet, and with Chiesa, that is not 100%, don't risk. Don't gamble too much on that one. Let's see what will happen in its transfer market. On the other side, Juventus is already thinking about another good news. A good news that this morning I was starting to record about Kenan Yildiz, extending the contract of Kenan for the 3rd time in 2 years. When you are renewing the 3rd time in 2 years, means that you are really trusting the kid, that the kid is really showing fantastic things. And if you are looking at the season of Kenan, well, in the first part of the season until the 23rd of December, he played 6 times, only 38 minutes, 0 goals in Serie A. The second part of the season, since that 23rd of December, so it's quite recently, 246 with 1 goal in Serie A, 102 minutes in Coppa Italia, 2 goals. So you see the constant growth of Kenan. What does that mean? Constant growth, well, the contract needs also to grow. And that was the idea of Juve. We already extended first time from a contract that showed him 120k per year to a contract of 300k per year until 2027. And now, because of his growth, and also especially because of the interest of BVB Dortmund, about Liverpool, about other top clubs in Europe that are checking, looking, and we know that he will continue to grow. Well, we want to secure the player until 2029, also growing his salary to 1 million euro. A contract until 2029 with 1 million euro, I can guarantee you, for a player like Kenan, is really cheap and gives you the opportunity as a club in 2 years to even extend it to 2030, 2031, and increasing, and you still have a big margin before he has a top salary, which was extremely smart. But with the latest news of Chiesa, where we don't know too much about it, well, it's now a necessity. You have really to lock up the Turkish player. You need to, because that debate of who will start next to Vlahovic, this season, I'm not sure how many times we will be able to see it. I don't know how many times we will be able here on the channel to discuss, was it better to start Chiesa, was it better to start Kenan? Chiesa needs his time to recuperate physically and mentally, to be again the player of 2 years ago. And it's a normal process, of course, in a player's injury after a huge big ACL. The problem is that the clock is ticking. Why is it ticking? Because his contract is ending in 2025, and at the moment, we have no signature on that contract. In the state of Chiesa today, that is not 100% recuperated, what can Juventus offer? But also Chiesa prefers to wait a bit to understand better his situation. So going for that contract extension of Kenan is extremely an emergency now. Waiting for Chiesa without rush, and towards the end of the season really understand what the plan will be. So yes, I'm a bit worried for the contract of Chiesa. Yes, I'm a bit worried for Moiskin going or not on loan, because if he stays and Chiesa is back, which I hope that Chiesa will be back, well, the motivation level might not be as high as the first part of the season. So there are a lot of things there where I'm saying, I don't know. The good news, Ealing Jr. could potentially extend until 2028, a player that we were all already saying goodbye to a few months ago. Well, he could potentially stay, which is fantastic. Why? Because all we trust in the player, and he continues to show what he's showing the last few weeks, and it's a player that we are winning. Or if not, well, we can cash in on the player, because with his last year of contract, the entries of cash would have been really limited, so that's a good one. And apparently with the same agency, we're already speaking about Iñaki Gonzalez, a player that Juventus is looking for, a player that will probably not renew with his Spanish club, a player that would love to make the step to a bigger club. The good news of the day, Giuntoli, yesterday he won an award, Guys, don't ask me what was the name, the best football, the Ballon d'Or. I don't know because there are so many. But yes, anyway, yesterday he won a trophy in Dubai for the best sporting director. Of course, praising his big work at Napoli. So congratulations to Giuntoli. But I really loved the words that he went to. He said, of course, thank you to Napoli. I'm aware I win it big part because of the work I did to Napoli. But I would love to be here, back on this podium in the next years. Why? To receive an award for Juventus. Because he said, now I am on a new journey with Juventus, and here is where I will be winning a new award. That's beautiful. Because also, if he had been really respectful for what he did, he's thinking ahead. And I already told you about the words of Max. This team has a beautiful future. So we have really, really, really a beautiful sporting director. We have a vision for Juventus. Now, of course, we have to make it work on the field. Will it already work this year, winning a Scudetto? Big question mark. I don't know. I don't know if you watched the game of Inter yesterday. Yesterday, they totally demolished Lazio. 3-0, could have even been 6-0. Thuram, big form. Barella, big form. Darmian, big form. They are really strong. We say it since the beginning of the season. They are really, really strong. We have to go to Lecce, a difficult game. We have to win, not only to go virtually on top, but to continue to believe in something bigger, because you never know. But it's tough, because if it's virtually that we will be there on top, Inter, they will recuperate that game. And if they are continuing to do what they are doing there, what they showed in Saudi Arabia, will be tough to close them. So we can't just go not entering with the right mentality, being scared. Tomorrow we have to go in Lecce. We have to immediately play. We have to understand the moment that we are in. We have to go, taking the 3 points, going home, going back, waiting to recuperate our players like Chiesa, recuperating our players like Rabiot, to go to and guest or host Empoli at home, and then thinking about that game of Inter. So if you didn't yet, please, maximum of like. Thank you for continuing to support the channel. Thank you, grazie, forza, Juve. Ciao ragazzi.